Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for a wild ride? Today we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into Tesla's We Robot event.
Buckle up.
Yeah, this event, it had everything. Robo-taxis, AI, Elon Musk, quoting science fiction. We're going to break it all down, cut through the hype, and see what's really going on.
Absolutely. We've gone through tons of articles, Musk's presentation, you name it. We're pulling out the need-to-know info, the stuff that matters.
And trust me, there's a lot to unpack. So where do we even start?
Well, the star of the show was definitely the Cybercab. I mean, talk about an entrance.
Right, like something straight out of a movie. Those butterfly doors, that sleek design.
Totally. But remember, this is no ordinary concept car. This is a fully autonomous robotaxi. No steering wheel, no pedals, just pure self-driving tech.
And get this, they're aiming for a price tag under $30,000. I mean, that's insane.
It's ambitious, for sure. But think about it. Most new cars cost way more than that, and you still have to pay for gas, insurance.
Not to mention the headache of finding parking. Okay, so cheap robo-taxis, I'm listening. But how? How will they make it that affordable?
Well, Musk claims operating costs could be as low as 20 cents a mile.
Wait, seriously, that's less than a bus ticket.
Right. Now, it's important to remember Tesla's track record with deadlines. They haven't always hit the mark.
Yeah, that's true.
But even so, the potential here is huge. Imagine a world where your commute is productive, where errands don't involve parking nightmares. That's the vision they're selling.
It's a compelling vision, I'll give them that. And they're not stopping at taxis either. Did you see the Robovan? This thing is massive.
Oh, yeah, it's like a Cybertruck had a baby with a party bus.
20-passenger capacity. Musk says it'll revolutionize public transport.
He called it individualized mass transit, which is kind of a mouthful.
It's a very Muskism, isn't it? But what does it even mean?
Well, imagine on-demand, personalized public transport. Forget fixed bus routes. The Robovan comes to you, takes you where you need to go.
And probably looks super cool doing it.
Exactly. But, there are some big questions here. How would this even work in a crowded city?
Yeah, I can't picture this navigating New York rush hour.
Exactly. And what about safety? Regulation? There's a lot to figure out.
Okay, so maybe a few kinks to work out, but there's one more thing we have to talk about. The elephant, or rather, the robot in the room. Optimus.
Ah, yes. Tesla's humanoid robot. They've made some serious upgrades since last year.
It walked across the stage, picked things up. I mean, it was impressive, but also kind of creepy.
Yeah, a little bit Black Mirror, right? Humanoid robots are definitely stepping out of the realm of science fiction and into reality.
So are we ready for a world where robots are part of everyday life?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it's one we're going to tackle head on right after the break.
Before the break, things were getting kind of spooky. But hey, robots are cool too. Well, maybe.
Right. Okay, maybe let's not spiral about robot overlords just yet.
Yeah, you're right. We were talking about how Tesla is different from other companies working on autonomous vehicles.
It all boils down to how they are approaching self-driving.
Right. With FSD, their full self-driving system, cameras everywhere. But other companies are all about LiDAR, right?
Exactly. LiDAR uses lasers.
Lasers, like in space.
Kind of. They create a really detailed 3D map of everything around the car.
Okay, that makes sense. But why isn't Tesla using it then?
It's really expensive. Plus, Tesla's argument is that we, as humans, we drive using our vision. So that's what they think their cars should do too.
So more cameras, not lasers.
Exactly. Plus, powerful AI, of course. Tesla believes this combination can beat those LiDAR systems.
But how? How does a car actually learn to see the road?
That's where the AI magic comes in. They use these things called neural networks.
Neural networks, isn't that a little complex?
It sounds scarier than it is. Think of it like a computer brain, but it learns by being fed tons of data. Millions of miles of driving footage in Tesla's case.
So the car learns from watching other cars drive.
Pretty much. The AI analyzes that footage, figures out what everything is, like other cars, pedestrians, trees.
And it uses that to decide where to go.
Exactly. The AI learns how to navigate the world, just like a human driver would, but with cameras and code instead of eyes and a brain.
Wow. That's honestly mind-blowing, but also, like, a little terrifying, right? Are we really ready to trust our lives to robots driving cars?
It's a valid question.
Yeah.
And the short answer is it's complicated.
Yeah, I bet.
This technology is still being developed, it's still evolving, but that's why Tesla is gathering so much data, constantly tweaking their algorithms, trying to improve.
It's like one giant experiment, and we're all along for the ride.
In a way, yeah. But speaking of experiments, there's another piece of the puzzle we haven't even touched on. That crazy wireless charging system. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Like magic. No more plugging in, just park and charge. How does that even work?
It sounds like magic, but it's actually based on a pretty simple principle called electromagnetic induction.
Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me.
Have you ever used a wireless charging pad for your phone? It's the same idea, just, way bigger.
Okay, so the car just charges through the air.
Pretty much. There's a charging pad on the ground that generates a magnetic field.
A force field.
Not quite a force field, but it's in the same neighborhood. That magnetic field interacts with a special coil on the bottom of the car. And that's what generates the electricity to charge the battery.
So no more fumbling with cords. That's awesome. But is it as efficient as plugging in?
Tesla claims their inductive charging can be almost as efficient as traditional charging. Plus, think about it. No more wear and tear on charging ports. It could actually make electric cars last longer.
Wow, I hadn't even thought of that. But hold on, is Tesla really going to build out a whole network of these wireless charging pads? It seems impossible.
It'll definitely be a challenge. But remember what we said earlier. Tesla isn't just building cars. They want to build the entire ecosystem.
It's like they're playing a whole different game.
Exactly. And that's what makes Tesla so fascinating, love them or hate them. They are pushing boundaries.
They definitely like to think big. But with all this talk of robots, self-driving cars, AI everywhere, it's almost a little overwhelming, don't you think?
I hear you. It can feel like we're on the edge of something huge.
So where do we even go from here? What are we supposed to do with all this?
Well, the first step is understanding it, which is exactly what we're doing here.
True. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. The more we understand about these technologies, the better equipped we'll be to handle whatever the future throws at us.
I like the sound of that. But are there other things we can do, like to get ready for this wild future? Just in case robots do take over our jobs.
Well, it's not so much about robots taking jobs. It's more about how work itself is going to change. We need to be ready to learn new skills, embrace new ways of thinking.
So be adaptable, stay curious. That's good advice no matter what, right?
Exactly. The future isn't set in stone. It's what we make it. So yeah, stay curious, stay informed, and don't be afraid to ask the big questions.
On that note, I think we've just about reached the end of our deep dive.
This was a wild one.
It really was. But hey, that's a future for you, right? Fall surprises. Thanks everyone for listening. Until next time.
See you later.
It's like they're playing a whole different game than everyone else.
Exactly. And that's what makes them so fascinating to watch, whether you're a fan of Elon Musk or not. You have to admit, Tesla is pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, they're definitely not afraid to think big. But with all this talk about robots, self-driving cars, AI everywhere, it makes you wonder, what role will humans even play in this future Tesla is building?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's not just about Tesla, is it? This is a conversation happening across so many industries as automation and AI just get, well, more sophisticated.
So where does that leave us? What can we even do about it? It all feels so big, so overwhelming.
It's easy to feel that way, for sure. But I think the first step is to stay informed, like you're doing right now. By listening to this deep dive, the more you understand these technologies and their potential impact, good and bad, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the changes ahead, right?
That's a good point. Knowledge is power, right? But beyond just staying informed, what else can we do to prepare for this future? I mean, especially if, and this is a big if, robots are coming for our jobs.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily about robots literally coming for our jobs. It's more about how work itself is going to change and adapt. We need to be adaptable too, right? Lifelong learners willing to embrace new skills, new ways of thinking.
I guess that's good advice no matter what the future holds. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Tesla's We Robot event, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
The future is not predetermined, right? It's not this fixed thing. It's something we create through the choices we make today. So stay curious, stay engaged, and don't be afraid to ask the big questions. Those are the things that really matter.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride through the world of Tesla, robots, and the future of, well, everything.
Anytime. It's always a fascinating conversation.
And thanks to all of you listening out there. This has been The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.